Happy Wednesday, boys and girls. It's been a week. It's been a week. This is Jeffery at Jeffery TV coming to you live on Memorex from the default route, default location. It was 7 days ago today that I went back to work after being off for 12 weeks. And I still feel good. As I like to say, or as I'm going to continue to say, right now at this moment, I'm feeling pretty good. Told my supervisor that yesterday. You know, things have changed. I made some adjustments in my work habits. And I don't want to say that I enjoy the job, but I can say that I don't dislike it. I'm probably just even, I guess. And actually, it's kind of a challenge. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy having to put forth the effort. The calls don't bother me so much anymore, if at all. I've gotten it down to I've cleaned up my work habits, meaning I don't look at my phone, no social media. My second computer, basically, you know, shut down. I mean, it's sleep mode, monitor off, no distractions. Obviously, no TV, no music. And I've seemed to have settled into a pretty healthy way of doing this. And it's important. It's important. 6 years, 11 months. The day after tomorrow, July 4th, 6 years, 11 months to get delayed retirement and to get all that money. That's what I'm shooting for, as I've said many times before. And if I fall short of that, I'll still be okay, but that's the goal. And right now, feels good. It's been a week, another office day today. So I'm up an hour early, out here getting them in. Mr. Skill told me 203.8 this morning. I've been doing some extracurricular stuff at night, calorie-wise. Not too much, not too bad. Salads, chicken, potato chips, as usual. But the quantity may just be a little bit higher. And last night I had 2 freeze pops. And, you know, like those little frozen popsicle sticks. You know, I don't think that's too much calories. And then I woke up again and got some potato chips and wheat thins, basil oil, tomato and basil, my favorites. I had some in there, and some Kool-Aid. Oh, I love the Kool-Aid. Couldn't sleep. You know, I fell asleep and woke up. I said, I ain't gonna go to sleep, so I might as well. So I hit some more potato chips. I get the kettle potato chips, expensive ass chips. Usually you can get them for $3 a bag when they go on sale, sometimes cheaper. I get the plain, no salt, and I sprinkle vinegar, apple cider vinegar on them, and lemon pepper seasoning. Shake them up in basically a country crock tub. You know those country crock tubs that we used to keep our food in with the lid. But mine's is for my cottage cheese that I no longer eat. In fact, I threw some cottage cheese away yesterday. It was sitting in there for so long. I just don't have it. I've been eating grits, eating a little bit of grits and a piece of Polish sausage in the morning. Real little too, just small amount. But it, you know, I'm able to eat that and drink water and it doesn't tear my stomach up and I feel pretty good. So it's been working that way. And then I get off working. Unfortunately, I still have my Black and Mild It does something to my metabolism that I'm not completely enamored with. And I eat, watch my podcast about my Steelers and what's going on in the world on YouTube. And sometimes I turn on CNN on Sling TV. My Sling TV membership is gonna run out, which is cool because I just wanted it for basketball, for NBA playoffs. So it can go. But I feel good. Feel good. I go into the Metropolitan today, going to work. See how that goes. From there, I'll journey and then get ready for the holiday weekend. Got off work Friday, so I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I really do need to do something. I really, really, really need to do something. And not just vegetate and hibernate and meditate. I really do, but when I think about 3 days in that apartment by myself, with the resources I have, resources and toys and tools and equipment, and about resources, I mean, the amount of money I can go get any food I want. I can basically have anything I want. So, that's that. And I mean, not too much to say. I mean, I was thinking, should I talk about the Diddy trial? Diddy, I guess he got convicted of prostitution, but not racketing. Talk about the Steelers, news. I mean, I'm listening to my podcast, Philosophy. I could probably dive into some ideas that I'm picking up from that. Hegel, Spencer, Schopenhauer. That's where we're kind of in the ear wet now. Voltaire, Kant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. The only thing I'm going to talk about is me. That's what I'm most comfortable with. That's what I feel like I need to do the most. Or that's what I'm inclined to do. And I'm not gonna fight it. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it. Cause you gotta do what you feel like, you know? You don't gotta do nothing, but it's probably best to stay in a zone that you're most comfortable in. Do what you feel. You know, that's what they all preached in the 70s or whatever. Do what you feel. Do your thing. Be you. And I learned that. Or I took on that philosophy years ago. When I started doing this stuff, a lot of them would say, you know, do what you feel. Specialize into what you want and what you do best. That way you can hopefully create a niche that nobody else has done before, because there's probably somebody out there who is on the same vibe and wavelength, and you want to tap that vibe. And if it's something that, you know, that's important to you or dear to you or easy for you to talk about, or something that's in your wheelhouse, or something you don't have to go too far out of yourself to really explore and talk about, you know, that's where you want to be. Jeffery TV. All I talk about is Jeffery, damn. What's that about? All I talk about is Jeffery, damn. Ain't talking about nothing now? I got it on. I think I got resolution set for 1,000. So the picture should be a little better. File size is bigger. But question comes down, is the increased file size worth having better video in these things? That is the question. That is the question. And the file size is bigger, but it might not be that much bigger. And if it is it worth the extra gigabytes? It'll be like gigabytes over time. If I do this once a day or so, and we're talking maybe, I think the one yesterday was 600 megabytes. So you're talking like 3 gigabytes a week, which really ain't that a lot, but you know how it can add up. I'm doing this for years and years and years. And is it worth the quality? Now I'm just talking. Now I'm just rambling along. But what can I say? What can we do? What can I say? I ain't got much to say. Just doing what I do. Made some music the other day, posted it. Yeah, I have to admit I was showing all my quote unquote production skills. I just want to display what I think I'm knowledge and capable of doing in Cubase, and see how many, just, not that I'm looking for feedback, but, if somebody would say, wow, you can do all that, or that ain't nothing. Either way, just to gauge to see, what I'm doing, how it ranks out there in the world. Maybe, every 10-year-old with an iPhone can do what I'm doing. I'd like to know that. I would like to know that. Or maybe I'm doing something that, ooh, wow, you could do that? Yeah. Just put it out there, it don't matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter because, my job, my profession is what I do downtown in the Metropolitan. My profession, my focus is help desk, computer technology, information technology. That's what I'm a professional at. The other stuff is just a hobby. And no matter how deep, how much work I put into it, it's still a hobby. And I have to, I don't have to do nothing, but it's probably something I should probably keep in mind. And I do, because I know what the priority is. There's no doubt what the priority is. There's no doubt what the priority is. And that's that job that I'm getting ready to go to and do and participate in. It gives me my livelihood, allows me to travel, allows me to take care of my mother, help out people, family, this, that, have that income. And income is important. Income is important. Especially when you get used to a certain amount. You get used to that lifestyle. Whew. You think, can I go back? What happens if I blah, blah, blah? And I got to give up my this or that. Also, I was thinking, how many years it's been since I've been off continent? I think it was 2022. I don't know. Forget what year. No, it could have been 2022. It was before a granddaughter. And she 3. So I'm in 2021. I ain't been off continent in 4 years. See? I'm suffering. Probably my next off-continent trip really needs to be South America so I can get that knocked off. I might start planning that. I really might start planning that. And then leave Antarctica for the big one. Leave Antarctica for, I guess, after I retire. I wonder if they take people 70 years old to Antarctica. They're in good shape, I'm thinking. If I can get that South America knocked out, that'd be good. I mean, because I've been to North America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. I guess Eurasia is the same, so Europe and Asia. Anyway, that's all I got. I wonder if it's good or not, whatever. I wonder what it means if I don't have much to say. Could that be seen as a good thing, that I'm content, relaxed? Say I get on this thing and I got a lot to say. It could just mean that I'm excited or motivated, or just not having much to say mean I'm not motivated. I don't know. I'm just trying to do a thought experiment is all. Because this thing is only less than 20 minutes long, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out of stuff. I got nothing. So I'll get back. I'll do this, I'll do that. And I'll go into work for 1 full week back. And one cool thing, I got 8 hours vacation. Don't ask me how. I guess the last time period turned, and I got 8 hours. Shut up. I turned in my time card with only 3 days on it. 8 hours vacation. That's a big deal. Because I did go into our timekeeping system, and I set the date to July 16th, because that's the date where I'm gonna need probably a couple hours of PTO. And they said I'd have 16, so I'm not fighting it. I'm not fighting it. I'm going with it. Because I'm going to have to pick some people up at the airport, transport them, and get to a place and get back to work. Could take the whole day, but kind of don't want to. Kind of don't want to take the whole day. Plus, I should probably take the day. I don't have any PTO. I would take the day out, take some days off. Well, that'd be here for a weekend. We'll have Saturday and Sunday. Well, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll take a day. But I sure would like to build up that PTO, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. That's all I got. All I got. Ready to. It's been a week. I don't know what that means. It's been a week. I've worked 5 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. I worked 5 days. I feel pretty good. I should feel good after quote unquote only 5 days. I shouldn't be surprised at that. I better feel good after only 5 days, considering I got, let me see, 365 times 7, 2,100 days left. No, times 5. 300, how many days that? How many days does that be? Let me see, what I do? I did 365, no, it's not 365. It'd be 52 times 5, which is 260, I believe. Times 7, 1,400. About 1,700 days. 1,700 days of work left. I'm guessing. 52 weeks in a year. So I got 7 years. 52 weeks. 52 times 5. 5 times 50 is 250. Plus 10 would be 260. I'm 260. That's how many working days a year. Multiply that by 7. 7 times 200 is 1,400. 7 times 60 is 420. So it'll be 1,820, about 1,820 working days. I'm guessing, without getting out the calculator. So I just did 5. Plus, don't forget holidays in there. So you can take holidays out too. But that's the big picture. Aim the focus at the big picture. So we'll see. But right now I feel good. Right now I feel good. Right now I feel good. I'm out here. Mr. Skill told me 203.8. He had been saying 204. I get up to like 206 at night because I'm indulging a little. I'm eating a little too much. Not a lot, but, and it could come off at any time. It really could just drop right off at any time. And I seem to have control of my appetite, which is probably most important. Because there was a time when I was just eating. It was at a point where I could not stop eating. I would stuff myself till I was sick, and I could not stop. I've seemed to have gotten over that. It was like I had to satisfy myself by overstuffing myself, and I didn't like it. But I kept doing it. I'm not sure why. And I used to be eating and knowing my stomach is tight and full and I'm gonna be sick, and still couldn't stop. There wasn't no weed or nothing involved. Wasn't munchies or anything. I may have been depressed, huh? Probably was the job, the stress of the job, or how I was feeling about the job, trying to compensate. You can blame everything, you know. Human beings, we can point fingers and make, you know, kind of realistic associations that may or may not be realistic, that appear non-coincidental. But who knows? All right, y'all. All right, Jens. That's another thing. You be walking out here, you see all the bushes and stuff on the wall. Every now and then you hear something scattered. There's some squirrels or whatever. Hear the squirrels running around in there. They'll get your attention. I'm used to it. Probably doesn't make me jump as much as it probably could. All right. Seriously. All right. Got nothing. Got nothing, people. Well, that's not true. I don't want to say I got nothing, because we both know, we all know that that's just really not true at all. If it's one thing that it's that I don't ever have nothing. There's always something to pull out, something that I can grasp, something I can ponder, meander through, or explore. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of all this. I've said in the past, the stuff I don't know is the stuff I love the most. So we're gonna go do it. We're gonna go and do what we do. Wednesday night, Thursday night. See how it goes. Friday. Woo. I shouldn't be thinking about the weekend. Well, I got 2 more days of work. That's it. I just got 2 more days. And today is an office day. So that's fun. It's a little easy, you know, funner. And next week is all hands day. So I gotta go in the office 2 times next week. I gotta go down to Metropolitan 2 times next week. And see, it adds up. But each time I go into the office, it's gas money and parking. $20 to park. And if you're going, you know, 3-4 times a month, It adds up, that's all I'm saying. It adds up. And at first it may seem like it's significant. It may seem like, oh, you know, whatever. But you look back, once a week for 52 weeks, 50 times 20 is $1,000. That's $1,000 a year in parking. Versus being able to work from home, you know? It creeps up on you. That's $1,000. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, that's all I'm saying. So there was pushback, which it should be, even if it was symbolic, even if it was just to keep the people honest, even if it was just to, you know, present the argument. There was definitely pushback on us, you know, having to go in and work in the office. So, see how people come flying by? You gotta watch yourself out here. Slow down, buddy. I know you late for work, but that ain't my problem. You really gonna be late if you run me over. I guess you won't have to worry about work. Hopefully, if you run me over and go to jail. Because you hopefully go to jail if you commit a crime. Not if you run over, but if you commit a crime. If you're found guilty of a crime, then you have to serve your time. Because it could be possible that it was my fault that it happened. I mean, I'm not without fault, error. I'm not without, you know, perfect. I'm not. I kind of don't want to be. But then actually, I am perfect, as everything is perfect. Because everything is, and there's no ought. There is no ought to be. There is no ought to be, because everything just is. So everything is perfect. You are what you are. It is what it is. You want to think of it that way. And I often do. I often do. All right. Hear my voice crack? All right. I think school is in. Looking at all the weird teenagers going to Valley College. You know, just weird and awkward. We all were. You know, they're so awkward, unsure, learning, going from, you know, child to adult, being out there maybe for the first time, you know, developing who they are, developing how their looks and fitting in and peer pressure, you know, the unsureness of it all. Probably based on, you know, their family upbringing or the tools or skills that they acquire or not acquire in their family life, et cetera, et cetera. So you seldom look at, you know, the acne, this gangly and awkward looking and so sensitive and aware. Then you got girls out there trying to be women, you know, wearing clothes, trying out clothes, you know, to get the look, and some of them trying to be too sexy and show too much of this, and just look at it. Yeah, it's fun to watch. Like I say, teenagers are the strangest things in the universe. You ask me, teenagers are the strangest thing in the universe. Just when I'm riding by high school or riding by basically high school, seeing them all out there. You know, you obviously see some ones that are, you know, kind of on the cool side and developed or whatever. No, not developed, but kind of, you know, cool experience. You know, the hip kids. You know, you can see them versus the nerdy kids, versus the jocks, versus the dope heads. You know, it's life. Life is good. It's life. Life is what it is. Good or bad is subjective to the person using the word. Good or bad, up, down, left, right, is all subjective from the viewpoint of the person using the word. And that's the most it can be. It can only be described, good or bad can only be described by one unto itself. That was the definition she used to use for funk. Funk can only be described. Funk can only be described by a person unto himself. They did that decades ago. Thought it was cool. Anyhow, told you I can keep going. I can keep going. I can. Out here, hitting my steps, doing what I do. Go home, get on the scale, see what it say, get dressed, drive down to the Metropolitan, bang out that work day. And two more, and one more tomorrow. Then off for 3 days. Woo! Then 2 days in the office next week. Then off for 2 days. And then visitors, granddaughter and daughter coming out here the week after that. Woo! That's gonna be kind of hectic. It gets kind of hectic, but it's fun. It's hectic, but it's fun. We gotta plan it. We get so lazy. Me and my daughter, we can lay around very easily. We can lay around very, very easily. Sometimes when we do, it feels like the time gets wasted. So we try not to, but granddaughter don't let us lay around that much. Granddaughter ain't gonna let us lay around all that much. You gotta take her out and do something. You gotta keep her entertained or distracted, however you wanna call it. She ain't gonna go for sit in the house for too long. You start to get irritable, acting out, and you can see it coming. Even if you throw in that car seat, ride it around, let her get a nap maybe. That probably helps. Because there was a time when she was on the pacifier where she'd get cranky or whatever, and she just needed time out, literally. And I guess that's when I started to realize what time out actually meant. She literally just needed to sit down, lay down with the pacifier for 10 minutes and not even go to sleep and just calm down. And she would come up with a different breath. She would finish up, okay. She said, I get up now, and hand me the pacifier and go on about her business. Attitude repaired. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, like, oh, that's cool. You just needed to reset. And she'd lay there, You see her sucking her breath fire. You see it look like she ready to go to sleep, but she don't. She just look up. Come up, here's the pacifier. She give it to me. Get up and go on by the business. So that was cool. So you gotta just be aware of that. You gotta be fully aware of, and it's not like you can't be. It's not like we ever not fully aware. I mean, if it's around and it's up, you're gonna be aware of it. You're gonna be aware of it. All right. This time for real. This time for real. But I was thinking about killing the outro. Or should I make it shorter? But I like it. I really do like it. I like saying it. But do I have to say it every time? Every time. Do I have to say it every time? Swing on y'all. 2 times. For me, for the funk. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom in this or any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all. Theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. My name is Jeffery.